Hey, what's going on guys? Motonosity here. Welcome back to the MT09 build series. Today, we're gonna take this thing to get dyno tuned. Well, okay, first of all, you know what? I'll explain it later. But we're gonna meet up with John from Black Widow Dynos. He's in town. He's the one who's done the dyno runs on my S1000 and my R1. But for the first time, he's gonna dyno tune one of my bikes. Now, if you guys have been watching the series, been watching the videos, you know that the MT09 has already had the ECU flashed, but we're gonna compare what you're gonna get from an ECU flash and what you're gonna get from having your bike actually dyno tuned. We'll see if we can squeeze a little bit more power out of it, see if we can smooth out the power band, but I think it's gonna be a good time. And he's in town for the Rat Rally, which is Ride to Texas. It's one of the biggest rallies, motorcycle rallies in the country. So should be a good time. I'm gonna get this bike rolled out and I'll explain everything out on the bike and then we'll see what this thing can do. It has been so long since I had a GoPro failure, but this is one of those videos. So I rode to go see John, and GoPro decided to not actually write the file. Don't know why. If you're unfamiliar with what we've done on this bike so far, and I don't blame you if you have, because it's been a few years since I actually bought the bike, but I did an ECU flash from Boss Racing. You guys know I like Boss Racing for their ECU flashes. Really simple, really quick. You just take out the ECU from your bike, send it in. They flash it with one of the maps that they have for your bike or your make and model, and they send it back to you, and within, usually from the time that you send out your ECU to get it back, it's under a week. That's the really nice thing about doing an ECU flash. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to drop your bike off anywhere. If you live in a place where you don't have a reputable shop that does dyno tuning, or even any shop that does dyno tuning, you can send in your ECU and you can get your bike tuned very easily and very quickly. Now, depending on the bike that you have, it's gonna determine the cost of both an ECU flash and getting it dyno tuned. A lot of modern bikes, you're gonna have to pay more. Back when I had my 2009 R1, ECU flashes were under 100 bucks. Now you're gonna be paying $200 to $250 for a normal Japanese bike ECU flash. If you have something like a Ducati or a BMW, you're gonna be paying way more for an ECU flash. But with a dyno tune, you're usually gonna be paying about twice as much as whatever the ECU flash costs. That's from my experience and from what I've heard from other people, that's about what I've heard. The advantage though with getting your bike custom dyno tuned is that it's going to be tailored specifically to your bike, because they're gonna be looking at the output and the air-fuel ratio of your specific bike with all of your exact mods. And that way, the changes that they can make, which can be iterative changes, so they can put on some changes on a map, then test it out, make some more changes, test it out again. The maps that you're gonna have from an ECU flash, hopefully you get it from a reputable place, and Boss Racing is one of those places, because they do actual custom dyno tuning in-house, and that's how they build their map database. So if they've done a lot of bikes of your make and model, usually you can get pretty close to what you need out of a map for your specific bike. But even with the same mods on the same make and model, every bike is gonna be a little bit different, and that's why custom dyno tuning is really beneficial, especially if you have a lot of different mods that you may not be able to get an exact match from wherever you get your ECU flash from. So that's why I wanted to get a custom dyno tune on my MT09, especially because I have this really nasty dip around 5,500 RPM, and I was hoping that with the dyno tuning, we would be able to address that issue that I was having, because I wasn't sure if it was mechanical or if it was something with the mapping, but it was a really bothersome section when I was riding, especially because it was basically right where you are in the RPM range when you're cruising around. So without further ado, let's jump to the footage that I got with John from Black Widow Dynos, custom dyno tuning the MT09, and you guys will get to see what it did. Can't find a single good lighting spot because it's so freaking sunny right now. If I step out here, then I can't see, but the lighting is good. So those runs were with the flash, the mapping that was on there from the ECU flash that I had done. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to get like reading of the ECU to, you know, show full numbers and pull the map off of it, but he did that just so we could see what it was putting down with that flash and actually be able to see the power that it was putting out throughout the RPM range. Once he did that, he essentially erased the map that was on there, put the stock mapping back, and then did another run. So it did 115 with the ECU flash on there, and then with the stock map, it did 104. So what he's doing right now, I think he's writing the mapping that he just worked on onto the ECU right now, and then we're gonna do another run. So we'll see how it does. The nice thing is that you're able to see everything on there and be able to make changes, iterative changes, and that's the advantage of doing the custom dyno tune. So there's a big dip that it has around 5.5 or 5 to 5.5 thousand RPM, and it's something that I could really feel. So that's something that he could actually look at and he can try to kind of smooth out. That's one of the things I'm hoping for, and we'll see what it puts down numbers wise, but mainly it's all about getting that line super, super smooth. So I forgot to record the first couple of runs that he did, but this is now with his mapping on there, and he's already made it back to the 115. He's still gonna do a couple, 2 to 3 more sessions of changes.
I just did 200% pulls, one to get the tire warm, one to get the real number, and then I did a 50%, a 30, and a 20 to get a general consensus of the whole map as a whole.
The neon green one, that's so, the 50%?
No, that's 30.
That's 30% throttle?
Yeah, that's with compared to a stock
the
setup,
orange is stock?
Yeah.
Okay.
The main difference is there is fuel.
Okay. And then the one below is 20%? The blue? Okay, so that was 117.
The 117 is the last pull that I just did.
That really sharp dip on the blue, that's around 5?
That's what you were feeling.
That's what I was feeling. Okay.
Yeah.
And now so that's flat
that
there.
Currently is a 5 horsepower hole. That was a 5 horsepower hole.
That's awesome.
And that's going to get better because we still got an air fuel problem.
I'm excited to see how this feels because that just like being able to see that on the map is really, really cool. All right, second round of changes have been made. Let's see how it looks now. All right, we're thinking this might be the last one. Third mapping on the bike right now. So John, Black Widow Dynos, has worked his magic. If you guys are in the area, Central Texas, he's based in San Antonio, but he's up here for the rally. So hit him up. I think he's on Instagram, he's on TikTok. He's got a website, so you can hit him up if you guys just you want to just get a dyno run on it just to see what you're putting down, or you actually wanting to tune it, hit them up. Let me know I sent you.
Alrighty, let's see how it runs. Make sure I didn't forget anything. Oh my god! Oh my gosh! Just kidding. Oh, good stuff, good stuff. Let's feel that 5 to 5,500 RPM dip and feel it. Oh, dude, it feels so much smoother. So before I would just kind of, yeah, it's gone. So before if I just like sat in that like 5 range, I really had to crank the throttle to get out of it. Now it's nothing. It's acting exactly how it should. Oh yes, that's the biggest thing that I wanted out of this, was to just have something that felt smooth all over the place. Whoever wins this bike is going to have a very nicely running one. But that was really interesting to actually see him do all the work that he was doing. I didn't really show a whole lot of it because he was basically just putting in a lot of numbers and changing percentages, and I would have just been pointing the camera at a screen with a bunch of numbers on it. I don't think it would have been that interesting, but he was just working on ignition timing and trying to get that air-fuel ratio smoothed out as much as possible. In that little dip, he said he could probably continue to smooth it out more and even smooth it out towards the end of the tail, but he said it just wasn't really gaining any horsepower in those areas. It would have just been giving more fuel for no reason. So dude, I'm so happy about this. This feels so good. The final number was like a hair under 117. I know it hit 117 after the first mapping changes that he made. At the end, once he smoothed everything out, it was just a hit. The last run just got a hair under 117. The biggest benefit from a custom dyno tune is just the fact that it's gonna make the bike feel so much better throughout the entire RPM range. And when you have that, it's gonna feel like a faster bike. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. You guys have been awesome. I've been Motonosity. Remember, life's better with horsepower. Keep life live. And I'll see you guys in the next one.